George Canizero at the Institute of Heraldry, and with the help of Antonio Fulcher, who's manning the camera, I want to walk you through a couple of remaining QA issues with contract 26EB11085, the medallion lapel button set for the Director of National Intelligence Equal Employment Opportunity Award. The first thing I want to talk about is the display case. When the production samples came to us, they came to us in this custom-made case, but in the purchase description, which I know you have a copy of, in the notes section on page 6, number 5, we call out a specific display case that we need for this item. And the description reads, shall conform to MIL-C-14633, that's our general specification for display cases. A type 7 case, style 5, with a custom pad, and then it has 4 lines of specified text to be written onto the case. So let me just break this down for you. When it talks about a type 7 display case, this is a type 7. It's a soft cover case with the standard gold mylar pattern down the left hand side, United States of America printed at the bottom right, and this particular case was actually made by Graco for a previous DNI medallion. So now that Graco is under Northwest, Northwest should have the capability to manufacture or get these kinds of cases without too much trouble. And then inside this case, I've replaced what was in there with your medallion lapel button set so you could see how it would be laid out. This is the custom pad that the purchase description refers to. It's custom because in our specification, the pads we don't have a pad that currently accommodates both a medallion and a lapel button. But again, this pad that I've used was made by Graco and submitted with this case for a medallion that was developed about 3 years ago. And finally, in the purchase description where it talks about style 5, style 5 is in reference to the way that lettering, this case is blank of course, but the way that lettering should be arranged on the case. And the styles can be found on a TIOH manufacturing drawing. The drawing is 4-4-85. This is the drawing as a whole with several styles of inscription on it. And then I've enlarged this for this video, and I will scan and send this to you. A style 5 case is the one used for the Legion of Merit award, and for this particular medallion and lapel button set, we want to use the style 5 lettering here and place it on the case for this award using the language in the purchase description that we specified back at the start of this contract. Line 1, National Intelligence. Line 2, Equal Employment Opportunity. Line 3, Diversity, Exemplary Leadership. Line 4, Awards. So those 4 lines would be written onto the top of the display case, mimicking the style at style 5 of the Legion of Merit. Next, I want to bring to your attention an ongoing issue that began with Graco prior to it becoming part of Northwest Territorial Mint with the Congressional Badges of Bravery. But we had this same issue just a few weeks ago when we closed out the setup for lapel buttons, which was also a DNI related contract. We have our metal analyzer here set up, and I took a reading before beginning this video on one of the samples submitted for this development of the medallion, the silver torch pattern. And over at the analyzer, what I did was I took the portion of the medallion that has the top of the silver torch and placed that portion over the eye of the analyzer, which then gives us a readout of all of the metal content on and immediately around the head of the torch. And on the computer you can see the results, the readout of that area, and there is gold present, but as you can see the composite metals there zinc, copper, nickel, all part of the base alloy, and nickel substituting for silver as the plating material. As you can see, there's no readout of code AG for silver anywhere on the metals composite on the surface of that medallion. The reason this is troubling is because, again, going back to the purchase description for this development, we finally decided for our finished metal to go with what in the prototype phase had been -1, and it says here that the torch shall be silver plated, matte finish, polished highlights, and shall match TiOH metal finish chip number 13. So chip number 13 is a silver finish chip. Chip number 16 is a nickel plate, but chip number 13 is a silver plate. And again, this has been an ongoing issue, and what I'd like to do is, when Tom Cacharo is back in the office next week, I'd like to schedule an opportunity for all of us to sit down and talk about what the miscommunication is in terms of the continued substitution of nickel plating for silver plating, because what we ask for in the purchase description is really what we expect to receive, and certainly is what we're telling our end user, in this case Office of the Director of National Intelligence. It's what we tell them they're going to be receiving. So we need to get this resolved. If it's an issue of capability or cost where it's impractical or you're unable to use silver plate in these kinds of combinations, that's fine. We don't want to have unreal or unfair requirements or expectations, but we need to clarify that if that's what's going on. Or otherwise, for future developments, if we require a precious metal finish and we don't receive it, we're going to have to start sending it back and waiting until we get the precious metal we've required. Final note, I haven't received yet for this contract the hubs, dies, or raw strikes. You may have been waiting to send those until the samples were approved, but at any rate, let's talk soon about when and how we will be able to get the hubs and dies and raw strikes to inspect those as well. I'll be emailing you in addition to this video, and also send you the scanned copy of the large Style 5 drawing. Thanks.